Hi, my name is Sally McGuire and I am a real estate agent with Hillsdale Real Estate Group, and I'm currently marketing the Terrace at Chatham Lake, and this is my home.
Hey, and I'm Milt Rhodes. I work as a planner for the Arden Homes, and I'm also the vision keeper for the Terrace at Chatham Lake. So welcome to the Terrace at Chatham Lake. Sally, thanks for letting us in your house to talk about it a little bit. You know, every good story has a little bit of lore with its fact and history, and we're really lucky to be on this property today. The history of this property goes back more than 100 years, and it was the site of part of the former Hanes estate. Next door to us, we'll see it in a little while, is the home, the former home of Jim Hanes and his family. It's now the home of the North Carolina Art Museum here in Winston-Salem, formerly SECCA. We'll look at another piece of property over here that dates to the 1930s, which is the Gardener's Cottage. It was a place where Ellen Biddle Shipman, one of the first women landscape architects in the country, worked and planted the grounds on the Hanes estate. There are several houses around here still occupied by the Wake Forest president, and then there's a house that was Phil Hanes' house that I believe is in private ownership now on the other side of Chatham Lake.
You know, Milt, one of the things that attracted me to this area is that you're in the heart of most of the major landmarks in Winston-Salem. My backyard is the former SECCA. Chatham Lake is behind me. I can walk to Renota Village, do the gardens, walk through Wake Forest, and then you have Grayland right down the road. So as far as locations of really historical landmarks in our community, I think this area is second to none. We have lots available for sale too. Currently we have 3 homes that will be custom built, 1 spec home getting ready to come, and 3 customs that are now occupied. So if there is some interest in it, we'd love to meet with you and tell you about the opportunities that exist if you want to live in this spectacular location.
So Sally, it's really great to be on your terrace today looking back at the art museum. You know, we're really fortunate about 11 years ago to start working on this project. When the location, the 13 acres that the Gardener's Cottage sat on, finally became available by working with the Hanes family to put it into future use. And we worked with them for years on coming up with the best plan possible for the site, something that preserved the Gardener's Cottage, something that preserved access to the museum, and really carried the vision of Ellen Biddle Shipman, the landscape designer that put it all together. For years, this was the grounds of the Hanes estate, and it was wooded, and people walked through it on a regular basis and just enjoyed the landscape that was here. So what we'll see as we walk around today is a little bit of some of the beginnings of a new landscape plan for this property as it connects to the rest of the grounds. When we set out to do the Terrace at Chatham Lake to provide this infill opportunity in the heart of Winston-Salem, one of the things that we tried to do while keeping the Gardener's Cottage, that's the older home out here, was blend it with new cottage scale homes that grow into larger scale homes like Sally, like your house at where we started. And so the Gardener's Cottage here built in a similar style to the art museum, which we'll look at in just a minute. You know, this is where operations for the farm went. There was a conservatory, there was a garden, there were animals, there were chickens, there were other things. And as we've worked on this property, we've uncovered some of these remnants of this practice that was very active farm out here on this property. And unfortunately, we weren't able to keep some of the larger trees that were here because of the grading operation, but we did stay away from the creek and try to provide an adequate buffer along the property lines. But this infill piece of property, 13 acres with its 26 lots, this is a good composition of the new and the old together. The little piece here on the left of the building was an addition. It's a modern addition, and they restored the conservatory to its full, operational capacity. But that was where the orchids were grown for Ms. Hanes. And that's why it was there. It was there to grow those hothouse flowers so that she could have that in her house every day. One of the nice things out here. And this center of operations is a pretty cool place for us.
Love it. wonderful.
This is part of how we've tried to reconnect some of the walking opportunities in Terrace at Chatham Lake. And we're heading up to one of the primary common areas along this little walking path. The mill area is down at the bottom of the walking path, but we'll get up to the top of the hill and I'll show you a couple of things. Here we are in a primary common area associated with the Terrace at Chatham Lake. Looking west, southwest, sunsets from the top of this hill are going to be pretty spectacular in the future.
I hear the neighbors on Monticello love it.
Yes. So we're walking up toward the Art Museum, and we're going to go as part of the old road that ran from Jim Hanes' house, and it connected across the creek to Phil Hanes' house. Reg Hanes had this. This was his part of the estate, and that's who we worked with on creating this out here.
Love it.
Underneath this concrete, they're Belgian block
Really?
that we'll see on the other side up here.
Very cool.
We dug up probably 6,000 pieces of Belgian block out here. And you know, the Hanes, when they built this, I believe they got what was the version of the certificate of occupancy to open up the house like the day before the Depression hit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was within days of that happening. They just finished it.
Milt, I have learned so much today.
And so now we're on the grounds of the Art Museum, and we kept this connection intentional.
Yeah.
So that folks at the Terrace at Chatham Lake can come over here, and folks from over here, should they want to venture a little more that way to watch the sunset or meet their friends, can go that way and enjoy that.
I've enjoyed
and so that
walking
connection's
the dog.
intentional.
Yeah, love
It's very nice. So let's walk up here to the front of the building. You can see some of this spectacular architecture.
Well, I hear the birds in the morning, and you forget that you're in the middle of Winston-Salem. You're not out in the county somewhere. And you know, then to look at this and all of these beautiful trees that they've saved during the process over the years, it's a park-like setting that surrounds our whole neighborhood.
It's all connected by these little walking areas.
Yeah. Who did it?
I don't remember who did this, but it came off of Reg Hanes' property out in Pofftown.
Yeah.
And as a kid, we used to climb on those things. But it's pretty cool that that's here.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful one day that that is owned somewhere as
moves.
part of our sculpture garden. The opportunities for growth at this contemporary art museum and community asset is really pretty cool. You think about the art museum in Raleigh with the grounds and the connection to the city and all the events that go on. This place here has music events regularly.
Right.
They have parties regularly that you can learn about different artists and the installation. It's just a really great asset that the folks at Terrace at Chatham Lake are going to get to have it in their backyard. You know, architecturally, the Terrace at Chatham Lake, by working with our builder partners and Arden, it's hard to recreate this. This is a very special house with very special old world architecture put together by old world craftsmen. Terrace at Chatham Lake is a new home community, but we do our best with our architect partners and our builder partners to make new houses that are compatible. Not supposed to be the same, but compatible.
Right.
And as you looked at the gardener's cottage next to the little cottage next to it, you try to get a blend of style so that it feels authentic and real, rather than just a collection of new houses. And looking back to the cues that you get from the art museum building, you see bricks that are oversized, you see steeply pitched roofs, you see dormers and eaves that are wide and tight and narrow. You see a variety of earthy colors. These are all things that we look for in our architecture that'll get put on the ground.
Right.
On
Milt, I learned so much today that I didn't even know. I appreciate it. I'm fascinated. It makes me love where I live even more. Thank you for all that information and your time.
Great. Well, like I said, we're really lucky to be involved in this project and working with you and your team on making it a reality over the next year. So I was glad to be here, and hopefully you get engaged a little bit more.
Can't wait.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for viewing our video today. If you would like some more information on the neighborhood, please reach out to me, Sally McGuire with Hillsdale Real Estate. I'd love to show you more.